I'd now like to welcome Alec Machin, Associate Professor and Course Director for Product Design and Manufacture. Hello, how are you?
Hi Daisy, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So my first question that I want to ask is, why should someone choose to study product design and manufacture? And what is unique and exciting about this subject area?
Do I have to pick one thing, or can I sort of build
Oh
on
no,
a few different
you
things?
go.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
good. So I think there's lots of things about the product design and manufacturing degree that are really exciting and quite different actually to other product design and manufacturing degrees. I think something that sets us apart is we are an engineering degree. So lots of product design courses are BA or BSc. With our degrees, they are accredited and they're engineering. So that means we're looking at many of the technical aspects of product design, but in particular the manufacturing. So we take students' designs and we actually teach them how to make them in the real world, because you can have the very best idea in the world that can help everyone. If you can't actually manufacture it at the right cost, in the right time frames, in the right volumes, it's never actually going to help anyone. So we teach our students throughout our degree not only how to design creatively and innovatively, but we take that to the next steps. They learn how to manufacture things and take that out into the real world.
Brilliant. Thank you. It sounds like a really practical course.
Definitely.
So could you tell me a bit about the hands-on projects that people can get involved with, but also the placements that you offer?
Of course. So within the product design and manufacturing degree, there is a number of projects. Our course is basically structured around what we call project-based learning. This means that we teach things or subjects in the classroom and then we apply them directly in project work which they're undertaking. So we have a number of different projects throughout both the BEng and the MEng programmes. We say to students, by the time you get into the second year, you're always going to have some form of design projects that you're working on. So we sort of hone project skills throughout 2 or 3 years, and then when the students get to the end of their degree, they undertake something called a major project, which is a little bit like a dissertation. It's where students just focus on a single project and they really get down into the depths with it. And those tend to be very, very impressive bits of work. I think the other part of your question was about placements.
Yes.
So we have really fantastic placement opportunities for our students. We see many of our students each year go out on placements. If students are undertaking the BEng programme, which is a 3-year course, they tend to go out in between the second and the third year of the programme. If they're undertaking the MEng programme, which tends to be a 4-year course, they would typically go out on placement in between 3rd and 4th year. Our students go out to many different places. Design happens in slightly different industries. We have small design consultancies, which are a team of 5 or 6 people, but you also have big design departments at large engineering firms. So we have students go to the two, and I think there are really, really valuable things for students to undertake. Consistently each year we see students go out on placement, they come back, and we've just seen their skills expand dramatically, and therefore when they come back to tackle project work on the degree, for example, you can really see that quite dramatic improvement in their skill sets.
Brilliant, thank you. And going on from placements, what are the key partnerships that the university holds with industry? Yeah,
so our course has really been built around what industry needs effectively. So we have a number of mechanisms in which we join with industry. One of them is through our placements, which we've just spoken about. Another one is through a group which we call our IAB, or Industrial Advisory Board. This is a group of practicing industrial designers, engineers, and they basically give their time to come and talk to us 2 or 3 times a year, and they tell us about the trends that they're seeing in industry. They reflect on our programme and tell us things that we might want to improve or slightly change. Another really important element of our programme is what we call our industrial tutors. These are people who still run their own design consultancies, so they're out there doing the job. And every week, 1 day a week, they actually come into our programme and they join our studio sessions, studios where we give support to students during their project work, and they actually give their guidance. So all the time, the students are not only hearing from us, the academics, but they're also hearing from people who are still doing that job, so they can get that information as well, which I think, again, is a really valuable exposure for the students to have.
Absolutely, that sounds really brilliant. Could you tell me a bit about the state-of-the-art facilities that we offer here at Nottingham?
Yeah, this is one of my favourite things to talk about, so apologies if I get a bit excited. So I'm really, really proud of the facilities that we have. I think first and foremost for product design students, we have our product design studio, which is a very large working space effectively. What's different about it is the amount of, or number of digital sort of facilities we have in that space. So you sort of walk in and there's a number of screens all around the walls of the studio. Those are constantly circulating examples, previous examples of student work. So all the time the students are getting exposed to that. But we also then have on the desks a high number of digital drawing devices. Sketching is a really important skill for a product designer. So we teach them from the ground up drawing on paper, but quickly transition to drawing on digitally. Lots of benefits to that. So it's a really fantastic space. It's got other things like a breakfast bar, kitchen, all that fun stuff as well. I think beyond that, a big part of being a product designer is actually making things. You can think about something in your head, but you actually have to hold it in your hand to realise if this is going to work or not. So we have fantastic rapid prototyping facilities. These are basically 3D printing machines where we can take our idea from a computer and produce it. We have a range of different technologies in that RP space, meaning anything out of sort of polymers, plastics, which we want to create. Students can go in there and create their products, test them out. If they don't quite work how they anticipated, they can tweak it and remake it. So that's the RP space. We also have a phenomenal virtual reality lab. In here we have 40 headsets which are connected to high-powered PCs. And again, for product design, virtual reality is a really interesting, exciting, emerging technology. Say, for example, you were building, I don't know, something big like a caravan. We used to look at it on a computer screen and then we'd have to make a model. Nowadays, we can actually put a headset on, stand up in our caravan and realise our head hits the top or something like that. So it's a really exciting sort of technology for us, which we're still learning about and expanding all the time in our curriculum. It's also quite an exciting space. You sit down and these headsets sort of descend from the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
I think the other thing to mention is the manufacturing obviously forms a very large part of our programme. So our students need to have understanding of traditional or sort of core manufacturing processes that make up lots of more advanced manufacturing processes. So we have what's called our engineering application workshop, where we have different machinery in there, including CNC machines, computer numerical control machines, would allow us to make moulds for plastic components and things like that. So again, all the time we're trying to cement the learning that students are getting in the classroom and then giving them practical real world examples. So yeah, I think we have some pretty special facilities.
I really want to come and have a look.
Good,
Honestly,
good.
I want to come and have a play around. How do you make sure that all of the facilities stay up to date with a quite fast developing area?
Yeah, I think as designers, we're always interested about what the next big thing is and what's coming through. I think there's a number of avenues we use for this. I think the best thing is our industrial links. So with our IAB boards, they give us guidance on the trends they're seeing, but also with our industrial tutors coming into us every single week, they talk to us about the trends they're seeing and they talk to us about the changes which they're seeing. I think often we learn through students as well. You know, they go off to a placement or something, they've used a really exciting tool when they're on placement and they bring them back bring that back with them to the university and we sort of explore different technologies and what we can utilise in the programme.
Great. It sounds really exciting. So how does the department prepare students for the job market right after they've finished their degree?
So I think, as I've said previously, the programme is set up to mirror industry practices. So we teach students the actual skill sets they're going to need when they go off into industry. So I think that really sets them apart. The other thing we do is develop their design portfolio throughout the time they're with us. So as a design graduate, when you go and apply for a job, it's great having a CV, but at the end of the day, the employer wants to be able to see the actual skill set you've got and what you can do with all these things you're talking about in your CV. So all the way through the programme, we're preparing that portfolio with you and you're actually doing projects which you can directly input into your portfolio. And then we also have a fantastic careers service. You can work with students to help them get things like their cover letter ready, their CV. And then we have a few modules in the degree where we do things like mock interviews, for example. So all the time we're trying to build students up so they're ready for that time they graduate and go out and look for their first job.
Thank you.
Super.
It's all really interesting and exciting stuff. Thank you for talking us through it.
Thank you ever so much for having me.
Check out the website for more information about this subject.